everybody, and welcome to episode 47 of the Improv Games cast here on youtube.com/improvgaming. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Peter Anderson, joined with the best friends of the world. First, to my left, he only is the biggest Zelda fan in the world. The Zelda fan in the world. Don't believe me, he has the tattoo of the Triforce on his right arm. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mr. Jeremy Bird.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Biggest Zelda fan in the world, coming at you once again.
There he is. To my right, he only has the fucking best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
It's okay.
Mr. Nicholas.
How's it going tonight, everybody?
And I'm Pete. As I said before, burping. That was good pizza.
It really was good pizza.
It was not worth the wait, but...
It wasn't worth the wait,
No.
but it was a good pizza.
Yeah, I was very pleased with them, even though they called like 5 times.
That was funny.
And I'm wondering, you guys ever play the game Katamari Damacy?
Yes.
Damashi?
Yes, Katamari Damacy, where you're the little alien and you
Yes.
make you
Yes.
continue to roll the ball.
Okay.
My question to you is, why didn't that get an M rating? Let me explain why. You're rolling up stuff, so you're helping out. You know, you're getting rid of the rats, you're getting rid of the dirtiness of the house, but soon your ball becomes bigger, and then you start to engulf people.
Yes.
And then you in turn engulf more things like houses. So basically, you're creating destruction.
Yes. But there's no blood.
That's what I was going to say. There's no blood, there's no guts, there's no, like...
And there's no cursing.
Yeah.
Like, you're passing... Like Mario is killing a massive amount of people in what he's doing. He's destroying Goombas, right? He's tossing lizards into lava. Like, he's just destroying a lot of people. But, you know, he does it with a woohoo, and it's fine.
If you know your Mario lore, you know the secret behind that.
You know? He's
Woohoo!
He doesn't go, oh, fuck you!
yeah.
Oh, I got gum on my shoe! Mamma mia!
Yeah, he's... So that's the reason why. It's all about context, right? Contextually in the Katamari games, you're not out to destroy human civilization. You're just
Yes,
there
you are. You're here to gather resources to make a star for your solar system.
Yes.
So you're basically getting all this junk on planet Earth.
Yes, but it's not saying, hey, we need you to destroy Earth to get the star. They're saying, gather resources from Earth to get the star.
So the resources,
this is fun.
This is the resources is the safe part.
Just in case, you know, if people happen to get into your giant ball that we're going to make a star out of, oops, like...
Oh, well.
I wonder, do you think Katamari Damacy should be more violent? I think it is.
Not if that's...
It would be a great game if the fucking ball just became the enemy. Like the goal was to...
That's another thing. It doesn't have any violence in it.
You're squishing people with...
No, you're not.
No, you're not. They're getting stuck.
They're getting stuck. You're not squishing them.
And then they die because they incinerate into a star.
Who knows? You don't see them dying.
Katamari Damacy, rated M for mature.
You don't see them dying.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Improv Games cast. This is the greatest video game games cast in all of Mushroom Kingdom, in all of Albion, and all of the past, present, and future locations set in the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Apparently scars are hereditary.
Shitty Assassin's Creed.
It's not
franchise.
shitty. For some people, it's shitty.
Terrible.
We are 3 best
For
friends.
Ubisoft, it's shitty.
For Ubisoft,
They had to stop.
Yeah, they had to take a year off. But you know Watch Dogs is coming. We are 3 best friends who bring you great topics every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This week is all about influential hardware games and all that, so stay tuned. We also bring you Let's Plays every Tuesday and Thursday. Lego Dimensions might be coming up.
We honor you with Let's Plays.
I know it. We also bring you the biggest news in gaming with our 1-Up News.
From time to time.
From time to time, between me and Jay, when we feel like it's important. But if it's that important, we bring it on the show and we talk to you about it.
To you.
To you, the audience.
The people.
Aw, give me two. I bring you the news of gaming.
If you like that, subscribe button, Share with your friends.
Subscribe button.
Subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button. He just turned that all into one word. Hit the subscribe button.
Compact. It's a compact show. And share it with your friends because we have beautiful faces.
Beautiful faces.
And you should share them with your friends. So, now on to the show. The topic at hand. How do you like them apples?
Motherfuckers.
Influential hardware. Now, to define what that is for the audience.
Yes, let's define what hardware is. It's not a console because obviously
a
a console can be hardware. But we're talking about peripheral hardware.
Yes.
The most influential peripheral.
Triggers, touchpad, motion control.
Yeah. The Wii, the Nunchuck, the PlayStation Move, the Kinect, stuff like that, you know. Across, you know, all...
VR is going to be a new one.
Yep.
VR is going to be a new one. We'll see how that goes.
Doesn't count because it hasn't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. So what would you say?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Probably the dual analog sticks.
You think the dual analog sticks?
Because here's what my argument on that is. If you remember, and for the younger fans, it's going to be a stretch for them, but back in the PlayStation, the N64, you know, camera angles was not your best friend.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, shooters were not the best first-person shooters.
No, they weren't.
So, to add in these two basic thumbsticks control, where one controls and then the other controls the camera, made everything so much better. I cannot think about playing a Call of Duty on a console without analog. Like, what would you...
I can agree with you on that because here's my point. Think about GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? The joystick was you move around, and to look and aim was you had to push the right shoulder button down to aim.
And you couldn't move.
Yeah, and you couldn't
This,
move.
at least, you could strafe and
I'm
everything
thinking about
like
that. I'm just like, oh, how did I play like that?
Yeah, it was. I remember replaying Duke Nukem, and I think it was the C buttons were to look around, and no. The C buttons were to move around, and the joystick was to look around.
That was the same gameplay as Turok.
Yeah,
the exact same thing. It was the weirdest.
Absolutely terrible. It was I have no idea how I was able to actually function in that game. But I would argue that the most influential hardware was the shoulder buttons.
Fuck! I was actually gonna say that.
The shoulder buttons.
Okay.
It's carried on, right? Since Super Nintendo introduced shoulder buttons.
I love how he's thinking.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
Super
pretty
Nintendo
sure,
was
right?
the shoulder
Yes.
buttons.
Yeah,
Cause
Super Nintendo was the first one to...
Genesis
had the 6 buttons across the top.
Yeah, Genesis didn't have the shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
So Super Nintendo.
Once Super Nintendo introduced the shoulder buttons, everybody started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You had PlayStation that came out with shoulder buttons.
Yep.
You had the N64 came out with the shoulder buttons. Obviously. You had GameCube came out with the shoulder buttons. Xbox.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation 2 added shoulder buttons. PlayStation 3, now they have shoulder triggers. So shoulder buttons are by far the most, and I feel the most influential peripheral hardware thing to have happened.
But what has that done for games though? Like besides like obviously like adds extra buttons, extra.
I can back you up on this one, Nick. Because you think about the Super Nintendo controller with the shoulder buttons, they didn't really have a lot of function. Maybe for like Street Fighter you could do extra moves and a couple other games, but they didn't really do anything until like the PlayStation era. They weren't really a big... Like,
No, they weren't. You didn't utilize them.
Yeah, Nintendo 64, same thing. You'd use the shoulder buttons very little in the games, and then once PlayStation came out, they had the shoulder buttons and the triggers, which totally changed it up. You think nowadays... I know there's no more manuals, but literally, say someone gives you a game, they tell you, like, okay, A does this, X does this, triangle does this, square does this, circle does this, and then the shoulder buttons have all these functions to it. You think now it's actually a standard for gaming.
Yeah.
Well, think of on the first PlayStation. I think it was just one shoulder button you had.
I think I'm not sure.
You had all L1, R1, L2. Yeah.
No, R2
that was a DualShock controller that had the
yeah, that's when they introduced the vibration, the analog, and the extra set of buttons. The original PlayStation controller only had one set of shoulder buttons, and you play Resident Evil with that controller, and you get aim and shoot from those. And that's pretty much where it all kind of started, was your aim and shoot.
Yeah, but I
agree with him on that.
You don't agree with the shoulder buttons?
I do.
I say the shoulder button's good, as well as like the trigger. Like I think triggers also have their place because they did something for the shooters and
yes,
for the I know, but
they're
I'm
derivative.
saying,
They're not.
Yeah, I understand, but the shoulder buttons, I feel that it was such years ago. It was always camera angle problems, and to have these two sticks to actually make do with it and make it work, I think was more of a changing thing. The also argument I can bring up, if you do you have one before I bring it up though?
I can go a step behind you with the dual analog stick. I'm just gonna go with the straight analog joystick, because that's the biggest innovation of the last many years. You think about it, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, you had the D-pad, and then finally 64 comes out with the joystick, a very unforgiving joystick, but that was the next big thing. Case in point, if say you go back and you play the old Crash Bandicoots, they start out on the D-pad, and then when you go to Crash Bandicoot 2, you have to go to the analog stick. The problem is, if I play that game, it's so weird for me to have to like go from the analog stick, go back to the D-pad, because the D-pad is like the secondary directional. Now it's like you're switching back to real old school. That's what I would say is the biggest innovation.
Now your D-pad is essentially your menu functions.
Yep.
That's what your D-pad has become. But yeah, I would have to agree with Jeremy. It's not the two analog sticks; it's the one analog stick. Without the one analog stick, you wouldn't have gotten the notion for two.
Yep.
Just like without the shoulder buttons, you wouldn't have even thought to put a trigger on right below them.
Yep.
You know, I think that was Xbox's probably biggest thing was when they on the 360 they had the two shoulder buttons and the two triggers up top.
And then they got the better controller, because that first controller was terrible. That donut-looking thing.
Oh no, I'm talking about the 360, not the.
I'm
Xbox.
sorry.
Yeah, the Xbox
right.
didn't have shoulder buttons.
Yeah, you're right.
The
actually.
Xbox. Yeah, the Xbox
it
didn't. No, it didn't. The original Xbox controller did not have shoulder buttons. It had the white and black buttons.
Oh yes, that's
You're
true.
right.
That's true.
You're right.
I was not an Xbox boy then.
Yeah.
I have one temporarily.
Now I'm going to throw out some things to you, gentlemen. I want to get your thoughts. Motion control.
No, not influential at all.
You're saying with the Wii, it was not anything.
It was a good try.
They're
but
redoing it. It failed. How can you influence something if it failed? Move failed, Connect failed, and Wii failed. Motion controls failed miserably.
Yep.
Can't be influential if it failed.
Yeah, but the motion control brought in another side of the gaming
Still
world.
failed.
It didn't really do anything.
Are you going to see motion controls the next generation on the NX?
Probably.
I doubt it.
No.
I could see that.
I doubt it.
You can't see that? I can
No.
see that.
Full
No.
3. They're doing the full 3D controller. I don't know. But no, like you're saying, like we came out with the Wiimote, and then everybody's like, ooh, motion controls, blah blah blah, and then everybody else jumped on it. You had the Kinect. Was it Kinect came out and then the Move, or was
Connect and the Move.
Yeah, Kinect came out like, oh, you don't need a controller. You don't have to use that stupid little remote looking thing. And then Move came out and that lasted like 2 weeks and then it died.
Yeah.
But,
It failed
like,
miserably.
best example, Red Steel on Wii. It's a good game. It's fun, but the controls are awful. Like, it's one of the worst tutorials ever. They literally, when you're setting it up, it shows you how to aim, shoot, move, whatever, and it literally calibrates the thing as you're using it. Skyward Sword. You had to calibrate the fucking Wiimote Plus by putting it upside down just to make sure it was properly aligned, and then you can play the game. And it's like, I love Nintendo to death, but it was just not a good idea for a controller. Like, when I play Smash Brothers, I don't use the fucking gamepad. I use the controller. When else I play Lego Dimensions, my nephew always plays with the gamepad. I play with the Pro Controller because it's easier.
Which came out first? PlayStation 3 or Wii?
Wii came out before PlayStation 3.
Wii came out before PlayStation 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It came out in November.
Because technically speaking, PlayStation was already released with the motion controls. The 6-axis controller was a motion controller.
Yeah, but I think the Nintendo kind of more refined.
Well, yeah, they did something completely different, but still didn't catch on. I mean, it was, what's the word? It was a nice little trend that happened for a while, but once sales started to go down, you saw exactly where that controller was going.
Yeah, the thing I hated was like when they would advertise, okay, you can play on the Wiimote, you can turn the Wiimote sideways and play like that, like the classic controller. I hated playing like that because it's so like weird having a controller like that big. And then they're like, oh, you can have the classic controller, which dumbest peripheral ever. You plug the Wiimote into the fucking controller, and then the Wiimote's just hanging down here, and you're like trying to play with this hanging off. I'm like, guys. And then they got away with the Pro controller. But
I have one for you.
Okay.
That I think you'll say, damn, that actually makes sense.
Okay.
Now, for hardware, when it comes to video games, what is your take on the introduction of headsets?
Headsets.
I think that's huge.
I think it matters nothing. I really
for
think
you, yeah, but you're not as, and I'm not also as much, but an online gamer.
Yeah, but I have a microphone here. I don't need a headset to perform online. I need a headset to not annoy you while I'm playing online. It's not really innovative.
Yeah, but it brought so many people together.
Yeah, but
before that, you had.
They could have done noise canceling, and that would have done the same thing as a headset.
Yep.
I think. So then, my question to you, since the headset is not an issue, what about the online capability?
That's not hardware. That's software.
It's introducing now.
It's software.
No, it's software.
Software. Hardware, bro.
No.
It's not a peripheral either. It's not a physical thing that's
you know where online play comes?
Detached from the
online
phone.
play comes from the internet, which is built not internet itself, but the internet.
Online play comes from PCs.
Yeah.
PCs was doing online video gaming long before these guys had it. When I plugged in my PlayStation 2 to play Final Fantasy X, because I was in the middle of Final Fantasy X and I went out to Long Island to visit my uncle, and I was like, no, I've got to beat this game, and I had like fucking manuscripts of shit that I had to do. And
was it a nice visit?
Yeah, it was great.
Just a sidebar.
Yeah, it was a really nice visit.
All right, back to the conversation.
And I plugged in my PlayStation 2 so I can play. He was like, that's cute. He was like, can you get online with that? And I was like, no. He was like, let me show you something. So I was like, all right, sure, as long as it's not too long, because I need to finish this.
This is the most important thing in my life.
And he showed me in his place that he had this computer set up upstairs. It was one room by itself with a computer in there, and he showed me Unreal Tournament on the PC.
Oh,
and I was just like, holy wait, these are other people? He was like, yeah, these are other people playing with you. And I was like, holy fuck nuts. Yeah, this is what I'm doing from now. Like, it was phenomenal, but it wasn't necessarily innovation or influential.
I'm not.
In that it was introduced to it was influential, yeah, but the hardware, it's got to be the hardware. We have to talk about the hardware, not the software. But it was around for a very, very long time before it came to consoles.
I can kind of see where you were going back with headsets, Pete. Like, you think about it, any new console that comes out now, you get a headset.
Mandatory.
Yeah, you get a headset.
Not Nintendo.
Not Nintendo.
They
don't believe in that.
Because Nintendo doesn't want, pervs preying on little kids.
Yeah.
I wonder if the NX is gonna have a headset.
I don't know. They're restructuring their whole business in order to understand better what the Nintendo console needs.
I'm just naming off some hardware. I don't know if you guys have any. I mean, it's clear we've definitely focused on the analog. I think
analog and the shoulder buttons.
Well, let me ask.
Okay, relax.
I'm just saying the shoulder buttons.
I'm giving you the stick.
Well, I think we overlooked one big piece of handheld peripherals, and I might get called on this, but handhelds.
What
do you say to that, Nick?
It's a console.
Damn.
Thank you, Nick.
It was a stretch.
I didn't want to say it. I was like,
I figured it was a stretch, but okay.
It's a handheld console.
Okay, so it's a stretch. All right.
Like, I mean, there's others that
save that for Friday.
There's other hardware like the touchpad on the
PlayStation 4,
the PlayStation 4,
or on the PS Vita.
The PlayStation
Vita. Even people that love the PlayStation Vita don't love the touchpad. They just think that it's a gimmick. They love the PlayStation Vita, but the touchpad is just useless. And I haven't found any use for the touchpad on the PlayStation 4 as of yet.
The only thing I found useful for the touchpad is literally when Sam watching a movie. I touch to see how much time do I left in this movie. All right, I can finish it. That's about it.
Yeah, no. I have no use for the touchpad on the PlayStation 4.
You could say the same about the touch screen on the DS. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, kind of the same thing.
Because literally, if you look at
He's really pushing for the.
But no, I mean
No, I'm just saying. You think about it, like
the DS utilizes its touchscreen a lot more.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about influence, right? The DS was the first one to come out with the touchscreen.
Yeah.
Then you had the Nintendo Wii U that had the touchscreen. Oh no, I'm sorry. You had the PlayStation Vita that had the touchscreen.
Yep.
Then the Wii U that had the touchscreen, and then the touchpad screen, and then PlayStation 4 decided to introduce a touchpad onto their controller that I've never used. I've only used it for like start and options. I've never used the touchpad. So you could say that the touchscreens have become influential. Yeah. And that they've kind of spiraled kind of out of control and nobody knows what to do with them.
Now I have one more, just in general, and then we'll wrap this episode up. Wireless controllers.
Yes. I agree. Freeing me from the console has made a huge difference.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you, but based on wireless controllers that like you plug in to charge, not fucking batteries.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's what I cannot. That's the one thing about the Wii I could not fucking stand was, I've been playing a game hardcore, getting into it, and all of a sudden it's like the screen stops like low batteries, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, PlayStation got it right?
Yeah,
PlayStation 3 came out.
Yep.
They came out. It was like, oh no, you can charge it through the console. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks. Microsoft was like, yeah, no, you can't charge ours through the console. You need batteries.
Wait, we'll give you a pack to do it.
Yeah, well, you can talk to Energizer and Nyko, and they'll give you.
We'll give you the little stand that charges your batteries that way.
But so PlayStation did it right out of the bat. They did it correctly out of the bat.
Do you think wireless controllers is definitely up there along with the analog?
No. It's not as influential. I mean, if you still had to... would you stop playing video games because you had a wire that was coming from the console to your controller?
No.
I don't, because I still play the older consoles. And I just grab
would you stop playing video games if somebody released a console that had no analog sticks?
No, I'd play that.
I would. I would too, because it's... Like, it's just...
If you're going to go back to that, I would say... Like,
but you didn't.
Huh?
You didn't. You didn't stop when they released the console without analog sticks.
Well, it had the nunchuck.
The nunchuck had...
Yeah, it was an add-on.
No, it came with it.
It came with it.
Did it?
Yeah, the Wiimote...
How do you expect to do Wii boxing?
Yeah, the Wiimote was...
The same way anybody else expects you to do something. Go out and buy it.
No, the Wiimote was... It was the remote and the nunchuck combined together. You combine... Like, the thing was, because Nintendo's a greedy whore, say you need to buy extras, they broke them up into two separate things to buy.
The Wii remote was $40, the nunchuck was $20. It equaled up to a controller for like a PlayStation.
No, like I can't. I was like, wait a minute, I did? Wait a minute.
I thought it did. I thought when I opened up my Wii, I didn't have a nunchuck in there.
No, it's in there.
You're just old.
I might be wrong.
No, but you were saying go back.
Possibly.
Say release a console that doesn't have analog sticks. I'd be like, this better be a fucking retro console.
Well, it better work. Like you better have figured out something else that fucking works. Like, that probably would have been more use to me if they replaced the analog sticks with the touchpad.
Huh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To, like, make that to move around?
If that was the way that your analog sticks worked, I could understand putting a touchpad on your controller. But if that's not the way your analog sticks are going to work, I don't understand the idea of a touchpad on your controller.
I have to fight you on this because Zelda... Phantom Hourglass, you don't use the control stick or the buttons to move around. It's literally, you touch the touchscreen to move the character around, and then you swipe on it to attack and everything. Worst fucking controls in history. I tried to play that game countless times, and I can't beat it because it's just trying to play on the fucking touchscreen when I'm like, literally, just go to the options, instead of touchscreen, go to buttons and let me move around with a fucking control.
Well, think about like right now I have the Apple Mighty Mouse, right, which is all touch oriented, right?
Yeah.
And think about that mechanical scroll ball. Like, I thought that this was going to be difficult to understand and how to work without that mechanical scroll wheel, but now I use it without a problem.
Yeah, I play around with it too.
You know, and it's very simple. So if I was to draw the comparison, I'm going to do this right now on the show. Where that, instead of being up here, there was two of them down here. So instead of having the black spot there, you put two of those touchpads right here with those same indents in there, then you would be able to fully understand where your finger is in relation to the controller.
I can get
So
that.
I can understand with the DS where you had to look down to see where you were swiping and all that shit, and even like the Wii U.
No, not the top screen. The screen that you were moving around on was your main screen. So you had the top screen be your inventory. The bottom was you.
No,
playing.
the top screen was always.
I thought it was the other way around.
No. The touchpad was your inventory. Because if you wanted to throw.
Let us know in the comments who's right. Me.
If you wanted to put a weapon in Legend of Zelda, you would go and drag it. That's what the big thing was, and it would appear on the top screen.
I gotta look this up because that's gonna bug.
But he's talking about the screen using for attacking and moving. There was another game. Like I know what you're talking about, but there was another game that I think he's talking about.
There was another game that I did do that.
Yeah, where you use the screen to move around, to move your character
and I'm like, I can't
around.
play like this because it's too fucking annoying.
And to attack.
Yeah.
So that I don't know if that was the inventory then. How could it be both?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that if they had utilized that section as a touch area, that it would have worked out.
Yeah, of course.
Instead of analog sticks. So, but I still can't understand that touchpad. I cannot fucking understand that touchpad because it makes no sense to me. You might as well have just put 2 extra.
Well, they
buttons.
have a couple things, but that's about it. That wraps up episode.
No, there you go. See, you touch the touch screen and move around and everything in the
And that's
top
your world's map up top.
That is too fucking annoying for me to play.
Actually, I don't remember that.
Fans can see it right there. See? The bottom screen you swipe and move around, and the top is your map. I can't play like that. I can't!
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna rant for this forever.
You good?
This is fucking
I'm good.
bullshit!
Thank you for watching this first part of the crazy influential week. We are probably calling it, or if it's not called. Let us know in the comments. What did we miss? What's your favorite hardware influential hard piece of tech type thing?
Peripherals only though.
Peripheral.
Not the console.
Yep, we're coming to that very shortly. Friday's episode, youtube.com/ImprovGaming. But let us know. Were you a fan of the Kinect? Were you a fan of the charging ports? Were you a fan of just the microphone to sing Rock Band and Guitar Hero?
Oh, God.
What about the Guitar
We
Hero?
didn't even talk about that.
There's so many things we didn't cover, but we here, I think, hit the main stuff. We were talking about, the wireless controller feature, the analog, the shoulder buttons, the introduction of 2 analogs. These are the things where gaming is now a staple to have these things. The NX comes out and doesn't have dual
It won't.
things, shoulder buttons.
It'll bomb.
Yes, okay.
It's gonna bomb. It's a touchscreen remote. I'm sorry.
You don't know that.
It's a touchscreen remote.
But let us know in the comments
giving up
what
on that.
your choice would be, and thank you guys for watching.
And now shit's gonna get real with influential fucking games.
Yeah, that's
This is
gonna
gonna
be
be awesome.
good thing. Definitely check out the Let's Plays from last week, Division. We also have some Street Fighter craziness, a bunch of them coming up. Me and Nick's challenge. We have the crazy group that was on Improv Cap coming over to YouTube. You got Lego Dimensions coming up with your nephew, which is a very awesome video.
Yeah.
That is a perfect video if you're a father. Watch it with your son.
It's a must-have game, and honestly, that's the first time I've had a 9-year-old do a Let's Play.
Yep, and it was absolutely fantastic. So definitely fathers, sons, there's definitely a Let's Play to watch for you guys. As always, you can keep it right here on youtube.com/ImprovGaming for all your game casts, your Let's Plays, your news. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for most influential game. And as always, game on.
It's realistic.
Oh, yes, buddy boy.
I just wanted to get it out of here.
I was gonna say I'll split that with you, but you have to bite it down the middle.